the technical, how to get that kind of done through Rainmaker. But I also, a long time ago, I did that style, and I did it with adults. Worked really well to get them to do the trial, and they agreed to, I think it was like $99 for 4 weeks in a uniform. This was a long time ago. This was probably 2009, and it worked. You know, a few adults a month did $99, but then almost always they would either cancel before the membership rolled over, or they would realize their membership had happened and come back and want a refund.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I want to make sure that we are cautioning people to make sure that they're doing not what the wave of the martial arts industry says to do, but what's actually getting them results in their school. If you're spending a lot of time on a lot of new members, where maybe you could be spending time on your current members and keeping them happy, they're the ones that are paying $150 a month, not $10 a week.
Right.
That being said, Rainmaker does have the ability to capture credit card information and roll over into a membership, but you just have to do it manually. You create the membership manually. My suggestion to people who are wanting to do that would be to have a Zoom conference with that parent and make sure that they understand that that's happening. So I know that a lot of people are wanting to automate this, but understand that when you automate, if you automate processes, you're likely, how many people have you emailed in like an automatic email or an automatic text message when they reached out to you, and then their response is, how'd you get this number? Right? Like, you're like, what? Like, people were sharing some of those with me as people have started ramping up their marketing. And one of them was, don't ever text my daughter's number again. And it was like, dude, y'all gave me your daughter's number. I didn't get your daughter's number. You know what I mean? So if people can forget that they gave you their email address, they can also forget that they gave you their credit card information. Maybe their husband did it, their wife did it, maybe their kid did it. You know, my kid purchased the Sonic the Hedgehog movie the other day because I took the password off our Apple TV thing, and he was like, I like this. He just bought it. Right? He got in huge trouble. He knew it was wrong. But my point is, people can forget that they do their credit card, and you are very likely, if you do an automatic rollover, to have a lot of people either unhappy or requesting refunds or requesting cancellations. And for me, it's not worth, 10 people at $19.95 if 5 of them want a refund and 3 of them complain or whatever. So like, I understand. I like the weekly thing, and I'd be interested to talk to Mr. Yogas about how that's going. But you still should do a manual membership. And the manual membership, if you do it with a Zoom call, now I went over last Thursday about this subject, about how to get membership agreements out to those people so that they sign them. Right? We have to have a signed membership agreement. When they inevitably dispute a charge on their card, we need to be able to upload those documents. Now, I use ProfitStream for my credit card processing, so I'm able to very easily upload documents. Like, I get an email, I really like ProfitStream, and I think it was one of the suggested people that Rainmaker suggested to me to use credit cards with. When I used to have a disputed charge, I remember being just furious because I would get the disputed charge in the mail, it'd be an envelope, and I would open it, and it would say, please respond within 14 days, but it would be dated like 12 days ago. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't even send it back in time. And, please respond to this PO box. So now with ProfitStream, I can upload, I can get the PDF from the client account. I can upload it into the ProfitStream upload area, and I've never lost a dispute with this system. So if you're not using ProfitStream, you should be, and you should make sure that, I think it's like it's called Business Track or something. It's like a portal where I can do that. I believe you can do it without that portal and just call them, but that makes it easier. So I went over yesterday or last Thursday how to create that membership to send out to them. But at the same time, if I have a Zoom call and I'm automatically recording on a Zoom call, then it makes it easy for me to say, hey, Mom, it's so nice to have you guys. I'm so glad that Sally enjoyed class. It's going to be awesome. We're going to deliver you a uniform to your house or whatever. And I want to make sure that you know that you can cancel your membership anytime. You just have to, do whatever. We'll sign a cancellation form, and you're okay with getting charged $19.95 a week? Okay, great. Let me set this up for you. Okay, I just emailed you your membership form. Did you get that email yet? Oh, that's okay. We'll wait. Or whatever, however you want to do it. But if you have video of them doing it, it's going to be a lot harder for them to say that they forgot, or a lot harder for them to pretend like they don't remember or whatever it is. And I know this sounds kind of negative. We're like defending from this, but we're not really talking about the people who are excited to do it. We're talking about the people who might.
I think this is really important because you want to protect your reputation.
Right.
So you're giving a good advice, because it's really easy to just trick someone into, okay, you sign this and then do that, and then never talk to them. And then all of a sudden they start saying you ripped them off and everything like that. You don't want to hurt your reputation over a couple of different memberships that may want to cancel.
Right. And you might not feel that it was trickery. You might have been like, it was really obvious on the profit generator. I put in big, bold, highlighted letters, this will renew at $19.95 a week, but that doesn't matter.
Right.
Like, once they're mad, it doesn't matter whether they saw it or not. And they give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they were on an old janky Android and they hadn't updated it and it didn't pop up or something. Like, who knows? Give them the benefit of the doubt. And if you're willing to give them the benefit of the doubt, then we might as well make sure we have that face-to-face conversation and not do an auto rollover. And I'm wary of martial arts school owners right now putting massive amounts of time into getting new students will not show up to your dojo when you're able to open in 2 months or whatever, whenever you're able to open, or will show up and still want to take class for $15.96 a week. And you're like, no, we charge $200 a month. And they're like, what? Bad review. Like, their child's going to become emotionally invested, right? They're hopefully, like, you want their child to become emotionally invested. You want their child to have a great time. And then you're almost like you're doing a bait and switch on them, or you're telling your current members, thanks so much for sticking with me during coronavirus, but actually, forget you. This person gets to show up for $80 a month or whatever the addition is. I mean, right? Am I thinking about it wrong? And there's a different way we should be thinking about it?
No, I think that's right. But I think people also trying to figure out how they're going to pay their bills. And they're doing online classes anyway. So I'm doing online classes. There's a way to make some type of profit since I'm doing these online classes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you could just, and as long as you could communicate that our in-person price is, X dollars. But has anybody, and I haven't yet, has anybody attempted to just enroll them like normal at a normal price? Sal?
I haven't attempted anyone to enroll them at a normal price. And what I do to separate between the two is say it's $69.99. It's a trial program online. So they know this is an online program. So it's not like what you were just talking about is, oh, but Sal, I signed up for a $69.99 online trial. Now we want to go to the school. It should be the same. That's kind of stupid and silly and assuming of the person to say, well, it was online. I was paying it for $60. So essentially what we're going to eventually do is say, all right, we have an online membership price, in this case, $70 per month for now, because we're all testing the waters, as you just heard, from $20 per week to $96 with a med for six weeks, to me, $70 per month. I'm testing waters, right? But that's separate. I'm looking at it as a separate entity. Maybe in the future, I'll just keep the online and do both, actually. That's what I'm thinking.
I've thought about that, yeah.
I'm going to do both and say, hey, if you can't afford the $200 price, we got a $70 a month membership. You just go online. And it's just a different profit generator, a different revenue stream that we didn't think about until COVID-19, right? So, but I haven't attempted anybody to join the regular 215 program. I don't think people would want to pay for it because they're like, hey, we're not even at the studio. So they see a value of being at the studio.
Yeah. One of the things also.
But hey, I had a quick question. Was it profit? What was the name of that document that you were getting at?
So we used digital waivers through Rainmaker to create a membership form and send it out to them.
So it's like a contract.
Yeah. We just take all the words that are in our current contract or agreement, whatever, put it in the waiver and have them sign it. And then when you send it through Rainmaker, it automatically attaches it to that prospect's profile, which is super important. It's not just lost in cyberspace.
Okay. Yeah, and I like your idea. I think the more personable it is, the less chance of people quitting. And if you automate things, the easier it is for them to think, well, I have no connection with William, so I'll just cancel and do what you just ranted about, which is like, hey, it's a computer. You know what I'm saying?
And why is everybody still with you guys? It's not because they love sidekicks. It's because they love Mr. Sal. They don't want to let Mr. Sal down if they can at all handle it.
Right. Yeah. So I agree with you, and then that's what we're planning on doing.
Well, and so I got this idea a while ago, and I have used it with my 4 through 6-year-old parkour kids, and I had used it with I had stopped using it with martial arts kids, but a 1-day-a-week program. And I had stopped using it with martial arts kids because I'm like, man, I gotta see that kid more than 1 day a week. Like it almost does the kid a disservice to see them 1 day a week because they don't get enough. Their parents are bringing them, instructors in like pour themselves into them, and then the kid just is pulled in 6 weeks or whatever because they weren't that committed. If they weren't committed enough to do the full program. But this is potentially a way to have after the fact. So like you put them in a $20 a week, $80 a month, $69 a month, an online program. And then maybe you still offer them a 1 time a week attendance at the school, but it's only at like an off time. It's like a Sunday matinee. You know what I mean? It's like a not a prime time. If you want to come to the prime time, the real classes, now we're going to stream those classes to you online or whatever. You guys can follow along. I think that's a potential way to make it more attractive for them to continue to train after the fact. And when somebody comes in and their mouth drops open at that 215 price point, you could have a drop down, like you said, online, and you can come to class. If you want to come to class in person, you come Saturday at 3 p.m. And you take class. You can take class at prime time at home, or however that works. I think that's a potential after the fact continuance.
I was watching the news today, and they're talking about possibly opening restaurants shortly in California. But they said it's going to be different. It says that you're going to have a waiter that's going to have a mask on and gloves, and they're going to take half the seats out of the restaurant. So if they had 20 tables before, now they're going to have 10. So I started thinking that may be the way we have to do our martial arts schools, because when they allow us to reopen, are they going to give us something like you can only have 10 people at the building at the same time? So I think that's a cool idea or cool thing to start thinking about. Do we not have parents seating anymore because we don't want parents to take up the seats?
Yeah.
We can only have so many people in the building. So just when I saw that on restaurants, because if I had a restaurant, all of a sudden I lost half my tables. Hey, it's great to be open, but I don't know if I can pay all my bills and my rent, selling half the amount of food and have half amount of guests.
Well, it could. So we're always looking at the silver linings, right? It could potentially give you a really good reason to be charging $250 a month for kicking and punching. Well, ma'am, look, we have a very limited amount of space. Everybody wants these spaces. We have to charge this in order to stay alive. And you don't have to do that if you don't want to. Look, we have this online program. It's only $99 a month. Right. Well, but my kid wants to come in and kick the bags. Well, and you guys have heard of Soul Cycle, right? They had a huge class action lawsuit And they got in a lot of trouble because they were overselling their class passes. They did it by pass. You had to reserve a bike online. If you didn't know this, you had to reserve a bike online. They had a really cool system where you could see that location's bikes in the room where they were, and you could pick your bike that you wanted. Well, the reality was, all of a sudden Michelle Obama says, I like SoulCycle. And it's like, oh my God, everybody's got to be on SoulCycle, right? And so everybody buys the passes, and they just sell passes like crazy, and nobody can get a bike. For 12 months, bikes are reserved nonstop. So you could think it now. I know that martial arts may not have that kind of demand, but you can reserve specific classes. Look, we only have 15 spaces on our mat based on the spacing. Your child stays on that dot. You have to reserve for the Monday, Wednesday, 4:30 class. And I know that we all probably do something similar to that as well, but it can make the value a lot higher. Instead of looking at it as restrictions, look at it as leverage.
And that could be a good way to start adding in some type of cancellation fee, because they're paying for that spot. And for you to resell that spot, you're going to need time. So that could be the reason you do a 30-day cancellation or 60 days.
Yeah. It's like a lease. You're leasing the space. I need 30 days to fill that space back up again. Do you understand that when you cancel, you're going to need to give me 30 days? Yes, we understand. Yeah. Man, I'm worried. I would rather stay closed for longer and then open and make it and have it real. Not I'm worried about us opening too early and then it comes back and then they close us down again. And what a crazy time we got.
It is. But this is why I have to start thinking ahead and planning ahead so you are ready to reopen with some type of strategy.
Yeah. And with all of the available options, I feel like things moved so fast when it first started that everybody was kind of on their heels. And then it was we would plan for what we thought would happen tomorrow, and then way more would happen tomorrow than we thought would happen in a way that would never happen before. So it's think about the absolute worst, and let's start planning back from there, and all the branches now, all the different potential scenarios. Trump says he wants to do this. Your governor says he wants to do that. Your mayor says they want to do that, so.
I came up with a crazy idea that I was talking to my daughter yesterday. I said, I want to open a Johnny Karate online martial arts school in Palm Beach.
Yeah.
So what I'll do is I'll just tie into Johnny's schedule. People will sign up for Johnny Karate West Palm Beach, and they don't have to have a physical location. I don't have to teach the classes. I'll share the money with Johnny.
I have seen some ads in my newsfeed for people trying to get students from all over the country. Someone asked me that, hey, how do I get people from everywhere? Can you help me with that? And I'm like, well, I would suggest let's nail it down on doing it well locally first, and then go national, because you're just gonna throw money at Facebook, and Facebook's gonna go, thank you. So that's a lot. But yeah, I love Sal's idea of a drop down to an online program and continuing it. That's a really good way to continue on through after the fact. And that's a reason to put some effort and energy into current signups. But I don't love the idea of just getting as many people in a free 2 week. Of course they're going to do a 2-week trial. Everybody's stuck in their house. Yep. Right? They don't have to get in the car. They don't have to get their kids' shoes on. You know what a nightmare it is to get your kids' shoes on? I got a 9-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 2-year-old, turns 2 today. Get your shoes on. I don't know which door you left them by. So they don't have to get their shoes on. They log on. Everybody's used to Zoom anyway. It makes a lot of sense, but converting them is a whole other story. And I have not seen anybody talking about, I converted 50 people into memberships. I've only seen all the braggery about, I got 25 online trials. Let me tell you that there are certain times and demographics that are easy. When we very first decided to become Motion Tulsa, we thought, hey, fitness will be easy, right? We'll do a 3-class pass, and they can come to boot camp or yoga or kickboxing, and they can try it, and they'll convert to a membership. I swear to God, 160 sold. I gave away 160 3-class passes in 3 days. I had to turn it off. because we had too many. Do you know how many signed up? 1. And then they quit after that because people, like fitness people, they're like, oh yeah, 3-class pass. We only had, I think, 20 people come and actually get their pass, like take it. So you gotta be aware that if it sounds too good to be true, it is, and you probably have to do harder work and better work than people are making it out to be. Plus, nobody wants to show off their bad results on Facebook. You know what I mean? So just be aware of the person who's trying to be a guru saying, look at all this, look at how easy it is for me, just follow this system. Okay, well, show me the real numbers. You know, anytime I ask somebody to show me the real numbers, they always backtrack, you know. I'm not going to show you my personal income. Well, I'll show you mine. If I'm telling you this is a good idea, I'll show you mine, right? So
you made a real good point, though. Keeping your focus. You know, whole idea is keep the main thing the main thing. We're in the business of teaching live classes. That's still going to be our main thing. We have to save the people we have because you start thinking of the lifetime value. Am I going to get someone at $12 a week, or am I going to save someone who's going to pay me $2,500 over the next 1.5 to 2 years?
Yep. Don't forget, when you log into Rainmaker and you look up somebody's account, first thing you see on the top right corner is the amount of money they've spent in their lifetime on that profile. And that thing starts creeping close to $10,000, $15,000, $16,000 for after-schoolers, summer campers, martial arts, parkour. You realize how important that one family is to your bottom line, and then how connected they are. If they trusted you so much to give you that much money, you know, pay attention. I'm not saying you guys aren't paying attention to them, but yeah, like you said, keep the main thing the main thing. Stay focused on keeping your current members. I would rather restart with 100 out of my 200 members and no online kids than restart with 20, real members because I lost them all and 70 online people, you know.
Absolutely. One question, because I know we're running a little bit out of time. You have a student family, we'll call them a celebrity family. So a popular family, they lose their job and they're happy with your school. Do you wish them good luck and let them keep taking classes? Do you give them a cancellation fee? Do you drop their price down in half? How would you handle a situation like that?
I learned this from Scott. I don't know if he still agrees with this, but it would be better for me, in my personal opinion, for me to just say come to class and let me know when your situation improves, because what do I really want? I really want that person on the floor, right? And I don't know that in this particular situation that I would do that, I think, for anybody. You know, we need to keep this between us. I don't want everybody knowing that you take karate for free. However, I understand you lost your job, but I also don't want your kid is on his way to black belt, right? Like, I don't want this to get in the way. I'm sure y'all will get on your feet again. You know, are you willing to take karate for free from us until you find another job? Because they might not be willing to. That might be way out of their ethics. I would just give it to them for free. What is it going to be? 2 months, 3 months? You just made a person for life, right?
I agree with William completely. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, Grandmaster Silva, that's what the bank is doing with me with my loan. They're giving me a 3-month deferment.
Yep.
And so I appreciate that, but I'm still going to go back with them after this whole 3-month is done. And the SBA, as a matter of fact, is giving me a 6 months debt relief. I mean, they're essentially giving me 6 months of rent or lease payments. So my lease payments is paid for 9 months.
Yeah.
Do you think I want to leave after that? You know?
Yeah. And that's a big faceless entity, government entity.
Right.
If you say that to someone, and also understand that they may be canceling. They may not be telling you I'm come under financial stress. I wouldn't want to tell somebody that if I was canceling. Hey, things are a little crazy. We need to move on right now. We'll be back later. Things are a little crazy because I just lost my job and I'd rather pay for groceries than dance classes. Right. So you might have to investigate. Oh no, I'm so sorry to hear. Hey, just in case you know, we have a program. If it's financial and y'all lost your job, please let us know. If it's just that you guys don't want to do it anymore, okay, here's our regular cancellation policy. But I would just free. Yeah.
Good stuff, sir. Really appreciate it.
All right, guys.
Thank you, guys.
See you
Thank
later.
you. Bye.